Good evening, traders. It is Thursday, January 23rd. It's in the evening. I just thought I would do a video. I tell you all the time, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You never know when I'm going to be in the mood to do a video. Saw a lot of thumbs up on my day trading video today, so it put me in the mood, and I thought I would share some good trade ideas for Friday. And take a look at the SPY, see what it did today, see how our day trades ended up. So you can see that the market's in a strong uptrend. We had this little bearish hammer yesterday. Today we had follow through. See, we closed on the low yesterday, pretty heavy selling. Haven't seen that in a while. This morning we had follow through right on the open, established an early low, and spent the rest of the day rallying, forming this bullish hammer. I think that we're going to continue to go higher tomorrow. This is a really good sign. Tail under body, and this is a similar formation that we look for on a daily basis when we're day trading using a 5-minute chart. We love these tails under body. Great indicator that the market wants to continue higher. When it closes on its high of the day, good chance that we're going to see follow through. We had Intel earnings after the close today. Stock was up about 5.5%. Very, very good reaction. I'm also going to show you a couple of stocks that I like as well. Let's spend some time on the SPY, and I'll give you the play-by-play of what I saw unfolding today. So we had the market closing on its low yesterday. You know that from my early comments this morning. We had a gap lower and a long red bar closing on its low. Very bearish formation. This is a sign that there is going to be more selling. But we established this low, and this bar, this second bar, if it would have closed right on its low, we would have had two giant red candles both closing on their low. This would have been a sign that any bounce immediately needs to be faded and that we're going to continue to probe for support. That's not what happened though. This candle rallied and closed almost on its high, forming a bullish candle. Ideally, we like to see these bullish hammers with a green body, but this one was red. So we come back down, tail under body, tail under body. Okay, we're forming support here. This looks like we're going to get a decent little bounce. We've also got my indicator here, the 10P indicator, with a nice bullish cross right in here, another one in here. Okay, it's go time. So we have a rally, and I'm not quite sure when I did the video this morning, but I may have mentioned that I thought we would see some resistance here as we tried to fill in the gap. My rationale behind that was big gap down, big selling first bar, lots of selling pressure. This is not going to be one and done and off to the races. We're going to start to see some resistance in here sooner or later. Here we go. Tail above body, tail above body, tail above body. We have this upward sloping trend line here that we can draw visually, and we've got a couple of red candles closing on their low. Okay, it's time. We also have confirmation from the 10P indicator that it's also crossing over here. So our first trade this morning was we bought some SPY puts. Market came down right in here, right near the support level, tail under body. Didn't wait around, took profits. The market momentum has been very strong to the upside. I mentioned earlier that when I trade on the short side right now, I have to be very nimble. I trade smaller size on the downside than I do on the upside. I want to trade with the market momentum. Buying dips has been the best strategy for the last 5 months, so you got to respect the strength of the market. So I took my profits on the puts and I said, hey, this looks like a pretty dang good cross right in here, folks. Got that 10P indicator telling us that it's time to get long. So what happened? We had this long green candle closing on its high. Excellent. Another long green candle closing on its high. Excellent. That tells me that this is some good buying coming in right here on this low. This is a test of the low, so now we have a double bottom, higher low. That's a good formation. I've got the 10P indicator setting up. That's awesome. So probability is starting to set up for us. But I said, I'm going to wait just a little bit to see what happens over the next few bars. I don't want to be rushing in case we test this support again. And we came down. Nice bullish hammer. We bought calls right in here, and we sold them right in here as we started to get near that gap. So resistance back up in here, and then the market just kind of waffled around. There wasn't a lot going on, and then out of nowhere, we got this big, long green candle. Well, that was the WHO saying that the coronavirus would not be that bad, that it was not going to impact global economic conditions. And so that was news that the market liked to hear. And you had some programs that kicked in right then, and it shook out all of these shorts who were short at the high of the day. So that move took them out right there because short sellers tend to place their stops right above the prior high. So they got shaken out, the market pulled back, and unfortunately I took a break right here because I thought we would pull back, and I saw a wedge formation forming this morning, and I thought that the market would probably close right around the 330.30 level. So I thought, it's been a busy morning. I'm going to take a little break, and I'll come back, and the market probably won't do a whole lot. When I came back, I missed that move. That was a nice one. Had I seen this long green candle closing on its high, reversing that red candle, getting into the gap of the day, I would have bought in here, would have rode it. Once we started to compress, I would have taken profits. We also had a nice 1OP cross in here. Ideally, I like to see those in negative territory and then the crossover. Didn't quite have that here. So that was a nice little trade. We also had another trade that was setting up later in the day. We call this a bullish divergence. When we get the market compressing and the 1OP indicator is declining, there's a good chance that this compression is going to result in a liftoff. Normally, the market will follow this indicator, but in this case, when it didn't, that is a sign of strength. So we tried to buy some calls near the close, lost a few pennies on it. I was in, I got shaken out on one of these, got back in, scratched the trade. You can see these long tails above and below body. The price action was very choppy late in the day. But the end result today was a bullish hammer. So you've got an early low that's set, and then you've got the open right here. So you got a nice long tail under body, and then the market rallies and closes on its high. So the high was higher than the open, and then you get that long green bullish hammer with a tail under body. We're going to see some follow through buying probably tomorrow. So I'm expecting the market to open higher. That's not a great secret. I'm not a prognosticator. Intel reported earnings. Intel has lots of influence across the entire tech sector. So it's going to be very good for semiconductor stocks. We should put in a nice day tomorrow, Friday. Who knows? We might have some lotto trades. I certainly will be looking for them. Now I'm going to go in and do a little bit of stock analysis. I'm going to show you a couple of stocks that I really like for tomorrow. And one of them was Netflix. And I've told you in my videos, these post-earnings searches are fantastic because sometimes the action that you see the day of the earnings announcement is not indicative of what the stock is going to be doing. And if you miss out on these trades 2 or 3 days later, you look back a month later and go, how could I have been such a knucklehead? Dang, that was a good move. We caught Netflix early today. Huge, huge rally. So let's put an overlay up. We'll take this 1OP indicator off, and we're going to overlay the SPY so that you can see the price action. So we got the market rallying. The gray line is the market. Remember, it kind of topped off. It was trying to get in the gap, and then it fell back, and it sold off. Look what the stock did. It held its own. It compressed. This is a coiled spring. If sellers were aggressive, wanting to take profits on this and drive the stock down, it would have followed the market down. But it didn't because gobble, gobble, gobble. They're buying up as many shares as they possibly can. For every seller, there's a buyer. And they don't care that the market's going down. They see this market weakness as an opportunity for them to load up on shares. And then as soon as the market finds support, what happens to the stock? It releases. And you get that kind of move. We love these setups. We look for these setups. I have searches specific for these setups, and one of them is right here, relative strength 30. Netflix was all over the place. You couldn't help but see it because it was at the top of the list. And so it released here, it pulled back later in the day. I made money in here, made money in here, pulled back, compressed in here, made money later in the day. So Netflix was a great trade. And let's look at that daily chart. I'm going to take that SPY off for a second. We'll go into the daily chart and we'll see what's happening with Netflix. There you go. There's the earnings announcement. The A means that it announced after the close. So yesterday was the first day that it could trade. Bearish hammer. Down, 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 down. Stock closing on its low. What did it do today? Well, it opened on its low, and as soon as it took out the open from yesterday, and for sure the high from yesterday, well, then it's all over our radar. This is a gigantic bullish engulfing pattern. I think Netflix is going to continue to go higher. I think this sets up for a really nice bullish put spread. You can use that 345 strike price. Watch the price action tomorrow. We want to see follow through. Now that it's made a new high, you can use this as support. You might want to see it close above that for a day or so, but I like Netflix. I wouldn't have any problem selling a January 31, 345, 342.50 bullish put spread, and you're probably going to get some really decent money for it, and you'll only have to wait a week for it to expire. This is big time. This does not happen by mistake. That is a big, big, big engulfing pattern, and it takes out weeks of price action. Watch Netflix. I like it. Another stock that hit our radar very early today was Boeing. And once it hit our heavy volume search, this is another fantastic search. And I have this one in the chat room, so you can't miss it. And actually, let me put up the chat room real quick. These two searches, heavy buying and heavy selling, if I'm not posting stock trades, if members aren't posting stock trades, just go off of what you see in this list, because these are a gold mine, and these lists update in the chat room every minute. So I'm updating, updating, updating. And you also have the market signals in here. So Boeing coming up on our lists. Why did I like it? So you have this breakdown below horizontal support, long red candle closing on its low, long red candle closing on its low. This signifies that there's going to be more pain ahead. But we get this candle right here yesterday, this deep, deep sell-off, but then the stock rallies all day and closes near the high of that candle. Well, what was the market doing yesterday? The market was selling off. Remember? The market sold off all day and closed on its low. Well, on a day when the market's closing on its low, the weakest of the weak stocks finds buyers and closes near its high. Today, the market down, 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 down on the open. Sell, sell, sell. Oh, what is Boeing quietly doing? Rallying. Rallying to the point to where it's actually taken out the high from the prior day when the market is getting nailed. That's relative strength. And that's what we find. And that's why we're so successful. That's why all of us are looking for these trades and posting them. When we see them posted in the chat room, all we got to do is bring up a chart and go, yep, I like it. So here's what we had on the open today. This is what Boeing did. And I'm going to put the SPY overlay up here. And you can see market down huge, stock up, rally, rally, rally. So here's the tell. This is the tell right here. Market tanks. Initially, the stock drops with the market, but look, as the market's continuing to fall, 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 what's Boeing doing? It found support. Market hasn't even bounced yet, and it found support. That told me this stock is going higher. We got longness. You can see that's at about 313. And then the next rally, never had a reason to get out of that trade, just kept going higher and higher. That was probably about 317 that it got to. Okay, now you got a compression up here. You got the market starting to move higher, but the stock is not moving higher. Time to take profits. Let me repeat that. Market is moving higher. Stock is not moving higher. Take profits. It's stalled out. There's some profit taking happening and it's lost its relative strength. So the market continues to go higher. The stock is flat. Okay, that day trade is done. Move on to the next one. Find the next day trade. So I really like that one. And I'm going to look at a couple of other stocks, and then we're going to call it a night. And we'll go into FSLR. That's one that I'm swing trading. I like this pattern. You can see it had a nice day, but I was long this early, and I told members in the chat room, I'm going to hang on to this one. I like what I see setting up. So let's go into that daily chart, and let's see what I like. So we've got the SPY here. We've got the stock taking out this horizontal support level, and we had this long red candle. Again, we've got two long red candles stacked up one on top of each other. Typically, that's a very bearish formation. We don't want to stand in the way of it, but we did have some big horizontal support here. And you can see how the stock opened on its low of the day along with the market. And when the market was selling off, it was starting to move higher and higher and higher. Relative strength. Now we have a bullish engulfing pattern off of a relative low and a support level here. I think FSLR, let's hover over that earnings right here. We can see that it's in February 26th. I think that this low is going to hold for at least a week or two. I'm looking to sell some bullish put spreads tomorrow. You can go real close to the money on it because this is a nice formation. So I think you can sell the 50-50 put and buy the 50 put and do that for a 10-cent credit. And I'd be looking for maybe January 31st expiration. If that put spread expires, that's a 25% return. Not too shabby in the course of a week. You just have to look for these technical patterns to set up. And then, of course, let's look at this easy search. Heavy volume. Stock has extreme volume. Stock is above the prior day's high. Stock has liquid options. And then there are a few other variables that I throw into this search. And we've got a few other variables that I throw into that search as well. So really positive price action. So these are some stocks that you're going to want to watch tomorrow. There were many others that I could highlight, but Netflix, love it. Bullish put spread candidate. Watch Boeing tomorrow. I think the low is in. We could see follow through for a little bit, just a couple days. FSLR, same type of thing. We've seen a lot of weak stocks that have all of a sudden found a bid and that are bouncing off the low. The market is searching for laggards because money is rotating into the market and it's looking for stocks that are on their low. These stocks are finding support and bouncing. I don't care if FSLR runs up to $56. I am long stock, but on a bullish put spread, all I care is that this $50 support level holds. It's all I care about. As tick, time wastes away, those options become cheaper, and I get to collect the premium. That's what we do. So, very quick recap on the market. We'll call it a night. You can see, actually disregard that last candle, but you can see that bullish hammer right on the end there. I think the market's going to move higher tomorrow. We're going to have a nice little decent close for the last trading day of the week, and then we've got big time earnings setting up for next week. And we'll see how those play out. There's some overextended stocks. Maybe they start to weigh on the market a little bit, but I see it more as a stiff headwind as opposed to a big market pullback based on soft earnings. We need that guidance to come in, and I believe that the market probably for the first quarter is going to establish a range, and we're going to trade within that range, maybe 320 to 335, 325 to 335 on the SPY. But I think we're going to start moving sideways here for a little bit. We need to digest the current market move and grow into the forward PE of 18. So not looking for any big nasty sell-offs. Sets up perfectly for selling bullish put spreads. And we're going to be using this strong after earnings search, and we're going to be using searches that look for stocks that pulled back, found support, boom. Then we're in selling those bullish put spreads again. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing, like you're learning a lot. Also, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I got to get some sleep. We'll see you in the morning. Thank you for watching this YouTube video. I'm Pete Stolzers, and I'm going to keep the trade ideas coming along with lots of education, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and please turn on your notifications so that you never miss another trade. If you like the content, please give it a thumbs up. I've loaded 2 other videos that I think you're really going to enjoy. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.